My name is Baba Kwame, and I have lived in this village for many, many seasons. I have seen the rains come and go, the rivers rise and fall, and I have watched boys grow into men. But of all the stories I have witnessed, none is as remarkable as the tale of the three brothers, Kofi, Kojo, and Kobena, and the magic calabash. This story begins many years ago in the village of Abotare, nestled between the Green Hills and the great river Oda. The people of Abotare were hardworking farmers and fishermen, known for their kindness, but also for their deep respect for tradition. The village elder, Nana Ose, was a wise man who often said, "Greed and impatience turn blessings into curses." But as you will see, not all listened to the wisdom of their elders. The death of a father and a mysterious gift. There was a man named Opanenkwami, a respected hunter who had three sons. Kofi, the eldest, who was proud and ambitious. Kojo, the middle one, clever but impatient. And Kwabena, the youngest, quiet and thoughtful. One fateful season, their father, Opanenkwami, fell ill. He called his sons to his bedside. His voice was weak, but his eyes still carried the strength of a man who had seen many hunts. "My sons," he said, "my time in this world is ending, but before I go, I must pass on my greatest treasure." He reached under his sleeping mat and pulled out an old calabash. It was plain, cracked in places, and looked worthless. Kofi scoffed. Kojo frowned. Only Kwabena listened with curiosity. "This calabash is no ordinary one," their father whispered. "It was given to me by a great healer when I was a young hunter. It will provide for you, but only if you use it wisely. When you need food, say, 'Calabash, feed me,' and it will give you what you desire. But heed my warning, never ask for more than you need, and never take from it in anger or greed." The brothers did not understand the importance of his words. A few days later, their father passed away, and his body was buried according to the customs of their people, with drums beating softly and women singing the farewell dirges. Testing the calabash. After the mourning period ended, the brothers decided to test the calabash. They gathered in their father's old hut, and Kofi, as the eldest, spoke first. "Let us see if the old man was telling the truth," he said, his voice filled with doubt. "Calabash, feed me." To their amazement, the calabash filled itself with steaming hot fufu and goat meat stew, the scent rich with spices. The brothers ate until they were full, laughing and marveling at their father's strange gift. For weeks, they lived without working, relying on the calabash to provide. But as time passed, greed crept into their hearts. The test of greed. Kofi, never satisfied, began demanding more than he could eat. "Calabash, give me roasted chicken. Calabash, give me yam porridge. Calabash, give me palm wine." Kojo followed his brother's lead, testing the calabash's limits. He demanded luxurious meals he had never eaten before. But Kwabena, the youngest, used the calabash only when he was truly hungry. He remembered their father's words and did not abuse its power. One evening, Kofi and Kojo had an argument over who should control the calabash. Kofi, in his pride, struck the calabash in anger. "You belong to me," he shouted. At that moment, the calabash stopped working. No food appeared. The brothers tried again and again, but the calabash remained empty. Panic filled the hut. "You have cursed us," Kojo accused Kofi. The brothers turned to Kwabena. "You are the quiet one. Do something." Kwabena sighed. "We did not listen to father's warning. Perhaps we must seek the one who gave him the calabash." The journey to the wise woman? After much debate, the brothers set out on a journey to find the great healer. They walked for days through forests thick with whispering trees and across rivers that shimmered like glass. At last, they reached a small village deep in the hills. There, they found an old woman named Mame Ajoa, the healer their father had once met. She sat by a fire, stirring a pot of herbs. I have been expecting you, she said before they could even speak. The brothers exchanged nervous glances. We need your help, Kobena said. Mame Joa nodded. You have misused the gift your father left you. The calabash was never meant to be your master, only a servant to those who respect its power. Greed has sealed it. Then how do we fix it? Coffee asked. There is only one way, the old woman said. You must prove that you have learned humility. The final test. Omamejoa led them to a barren field. For 3 days, you must work with your own hands, plant seeds, fetch water, and share food with those in need. If you do this with sincerity, the calabash will forgive you. The brothers had never worked the land before, but they had no choice. They tilled the soil under the hot sun. Kofi, once too proud to sweat, dug deep. Kojo, once impatient, waited for the seeds to grow. Kwabena, as always, worked with quiet determination. On the 3rd day, Mama Ajua returned. It is time, she said. The brothers held the calabash together and whispered, Calabash, forgive us. At that moment, the calabash glowed faintly, and the rich aroma of food filled the air once more. The brothers had learned their lesson. A new beginning. When they returned to Aboter, they no longer saw the calabash as a tool for laziness. They used it to feed the hungry and share with the village. In time, Kofi became a leader, learning to put his people before himself. Kojo became a trader, using his wit to help the village prosper. And Kwabena, the wisest of them all, became the village's healer, passing down the story of the magic calabash to generations after him. And so, my children, remember this. Blessings are not in what we take, but in what we give. Greed may bring temporary gain, but only wisdom and humility can keep true wealth alive.